So, should I get solar panels? What are the pros and cons? Let me go through them real quick for you. Number one, it's obviously going to save money on your electricity bill. One of the biggest benefits of solar panels is that you can save money on your electricity bill every month. Once you've paid for the initial installation cost, you can generate free electricity for the lifetime of the panels. So that is a great reason to get solar panels. Also, it reduces your carbon footprint. So solar energy is renewable energy source, which means it doesn't produce any harmful emissions that contribute to the climate change. So if that's important to you, that is a good reason to go ahead and get them. In some instances, it can increase the property value if you're in an area, let's say like California, that would give you government incentives for getting solar panels, or maybe they'll give you a rebate on your taxes, something of that nature. It can be a great advantage to getting solar panels, but the disadvantages are it's very high upfront costs. And I've spoken to people that have paid upwards of $45,000 for solar panels. And if you're financing those solar panels, remember that's $40,000 you're paying interest on. So depending on where you're at, if you ever go to sell your home and you still have to pay off those solar panels, they can put a lien on the house if you don't pay them off. And if the new buyer does not want to acquire that additional payment, then you're stuck paying that bill. So that is something that you really want to consider if you're thinking about getting solar panels. I highly recommend, if you have the cash to spend and you want to do it, go ahead. That should work out for you. But if you're going to finance it, I would really seriously consider other options in that arena. Also, keep in mind that solar panels are weather dependent. So if you live in an area that's very shady, or maybe you don't, you have a lot of tree cover, you're going to have to cut down some trees. So there's cost involved in that. And then there's also periodic maintenance that you have to do on the solar panels. So let's say there's debris, maybe there was a hailstorm. What if they have to be replaced because of hail? What if your roof needs to be replaced? Who is responsible for taking off those solar panels and then having the roofing company put on a new roof, and then they have to come back and reinstall? So we need to keep those things in mind as well. And then also they do require a lot of space. So if let's say you're not going to put them on the roof because you're not getting enough sunlight there, you have to have a really large area in order to do it, like acreage. I have a client that put them on, he owns 10 acres in his house, and he does get the return on investment. He did pay cash for those. So let's talk about the return on investment really quickly. So let's say your average utility, your average electricity bill is $170 a month. And let's say that your savings is about $100 a month, right? So you're only paying $70 a month in electricity now, because there is a base fee, and then, you're going to pay taxes and surcharges anyways, because you do have to keep yourself on the grid. So let's say you're saving $1,200 a year. How long is it going to take you to pay off those solar panels if they cost $40,000? Simple calculation comes out to be about 33.3 years before you get that $40,000 back. Now, that's not including any maintenance costs. That's not upgrading the panels. In 33 years, I think you're going to have to go through 1 or 2 upgrades in those panels. And then what if there's a hailstorm and you need to take them off? Maybe you need to replace your roof. And then is there a cost involved with that when they come out to do that? So all of these questions you need to consider before doing the solar panel option. A lot of times you'll have these salesmen coming door to door trying to sell, I sold your neighbor some solar panels and they're going to save this much money. But you really need to look at not just the monthly savings or the annual savings on your electric bill. You really have to look at your return on your investment. If you are going to do a remodel on your kitchen and you were like, I'm going to put in purple tile and purple floors and purple paint, you might love that. You might love purple. Maybe you're Prince. Maybe you love purple. But will that return on investment pay off? Will that be able to be saleable to the next buyer? I don't know. And you need to consider that, because everyone says, well, I'm going to live here forever. And then life happens and changes everything. So I am a big proponent of looking into other options as far as saving money on your utility bills. You can go to Energy RX, which they'll come to your house. They'll do an energy audit. They'll look at your, insulation in your attic. They'll look at your crawl space. Where is the air coming in? Maybe it's your windows. Maybe you need new windows. The government does have programs in place that you can get a credit. So let's say you spent $5,000 on upgrading some of your insulation and new windows, maybe some new doors. You can get a credit on your tax bill for those energy savings. So yes, solar panels, you can get that as well, but obviously it comes at a much higher cost. So really consider all of those options. Let me know if you have questions. I'm here to help you. I want you to save your money and be aware of all the pros and cons of these expensive home upgrades. So let me know if you have questions.